Hello, everyone. I hope you're having a wonderful day. Today, I have Jenny O'Laughlin with me. Hello, Jenny. How are you?
Hello, Jen. I'm great. How are you? It's great to be here.
Yeah, it's great to be here. So, Jenny and I are both TIR consultants. We met in Scotland and we decided to come on today to talk about all of the work that we've been doing. But most importantly, we wanted to in on mindset mastery and what is the starting point of that. And so the subject for today is what is it that you really want? What is it that you really want? What is that goal? So, Jenny, this was something that we were talking about. What subject do we want to talk about? And this was came to the top of your mind. Do you want to talk a little bit about that? And why do you think this is important?
Sure, I'd love to. I think most people walking around don't know what they really want.
Mhm.
Sometimes we have a vague idea of what we don't want. I don't want so much stress, or I don't like my current job, or any of these types of things. So we're kind of vaguely aware of what we don't like, but we're not always really crystal clear about what we do want. What's that job that I really want? Where do I really want to live? How do I really want to be spending my life? And now, this next point that I'm going to share sounds very simple, but it's so true. If you don't have a goal, you're probably not going to achieve it. So it's really important to get clear about what you want and write it down on paper, because you're much more likely to get that job if you know that you want it and you have it written down as one of your goals. If you kind of think of this analogy, if you get in your car and you know you want to go to Chicago, then you put it in your map system, you start driving, you're going to end up in Chicago. But if you get in your car and you don't know if you want to drive to Chicago or New York or Philadelphia or St. Louis, and you just start driving, where are you going to end up? Who knows? You could end up
Mhm.
in Nebraska. So you have to be really clear about what you want, because if we go through life not being clear about what we want and the direction in which we're going, we could really just end up anywhere with our life. We'll be tossed and turned by the waves of life and the stresses and strains of daily living. But when we're clear, it's like a knife cutting through all of that. We know exactly where we're going. We've programmed it in our mapping system and we're headed there. So it's just the basics of manifesting is knowing what you want. So I know it sounds simple, but it's really very profound.
Yeah, I love that. Some of the simplistic things are the most profound things, right? And it's interesting how many people don't know what they want, that they're just kind of floating through life, letting the wind take them this way and that way, and not really having a direction. And, I think people listen to different things and they get confused and
Mhm.
on exactly what to do. And it's like, well, I'm just trusting. And those are all great things too. But it's like you have to have a direction that you're going so you can flow with ease
Yeah,
there, right? That's the flowing part. But you have to know, where are you going?
that's right. And then
Where
when
are you
you know
flowing
where you're
to?
going,
Is what I tell people.
yes, then the faith comes in, right? Then you
Yeah.
can say, now I'm trusting. I've made a committed decision that this is what I
Mhm.
want. And I'm taking action toward it. And then you can relax and let go, knowing that life is coming up to support you, that life is taking you in the stream of flow that's headed in that direction.
Mhm.
But if you're not clear about what you want, then life doesn't know how to support you. Then you're relaxing into many possible outcomes. And life is a co-creation. We are here to direct our flow of energy, and life is here, spirit is here to support us in the direction in which we want to move. So we have to do our part from our side, and then life can do her part from her side in supporting us.
Yeah, yeah. So it's like, what do you want? That's the one thing, right? What do you want? So let's think about this. Whenever you and I started, and we probably started at different times, but
Mhm.
really started down this path of thinking into results, really the manifesting, really studying who we are.
Mhm.
The very first thing that Bob told us is, or what he would say is, "What do you want? What do you really, really want?" And so take us through that process of from the beginning. How did you decide what do you want? Did you already know or did you think bigger? I mean, what was the process?
Well, it's a really interesting process. And, I've been in the world of yoga and meditation for over 20 years. And so I'd, kind of unconsciously played with some of these ideas in the past. So when my husband and I were young, we knew that we really wanted to open up yoga studios. And we didn't know about Bob Proctor or this process, but we committed to it. We're going to do this. We're going to open yoga studios. And so then we did it. And years went past, and I don't think we knew that we had gone through a specific kind of goal manifesting process. We kind of did it. And when some struggles came up in our lives, we found Bob Proctor's work, and I was pretty shocked at how I had been living unconsciously, even though I've been
Mhm.
practicing yoga and meditation every day. So I was, tapped in, so to speak, on that level of consciousness, but I wasn't using it to improve my life in an accelerated way.
Oh, that's good.
And so, as I started studying, thinking into results, I realized all the areas in my life where I really wasn't clear about what I wanted at all. I was just kind of going through the motions, hoping for the best, hoping for good outcomes, but I didn't even know what good outcomes were. And now I'm at a place where I know exactly what I want. I know what I want for my family. I know what I want for my yoga studios. I know what I want for my relationships. I know where I want to live. And so it's really helped me to get clear about directing the energy that we're all transmuting all the time. Divine energy or life energy is coming through us every moment that we're alive. And all the thoughts that we're thinking give direction to that consciousness that's moving through us, whether we're aware of it or not. And I had gotten into a place where I was holding on to a lot of worry. And I would spend my days worrying about this or worrying about that. And I feel like life amplified all the reasons I had to be worried. And even though like life out there sometimes looks difficult, like for me, my personal struggle is that I have a daughter with health conditions. And so I found myself worrying about her all the time. And then more issues would come up with her for me to worry about. And I had to
Mhm.
internally steer my own ship and say, stop, stop. These thoughts have to stop. I'm thinking thoughts of health for her every day. I'm thinking thoughts of wellness for her every day. I'm thinking thoughts of empowerment for her every day. And then I started guiding her into her own thoughts of empowerment. Every night before she goes to sleep, I coach her on I am powerful. I am a child of God. I can be, do, or have anything I dream. And so I started seeing her in her power, in her wellness. And then that freed up a bunch of energy inside of me. And
Mhm.
not only is she doing better, but I'm doing better because I'm
Yay!
stuck in that worry energy. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah, I
The
love
worry
that.
was self perpetuating.
I love that
And
because
yeah, so go
I
ahead.
yeah, I love that because, the example you gave is I think many people can relate to a worry
Mhm,
that they've had in their life,
mhm.
right? And those worries, those doubts, that's an energy that we're holding on to, and we've
Yes.
got to let go of so we can make space for the new. Not only that, but as we think thoughts of what we don't want, more thoughts come, and we create what we don't want.
Hmm.
So it's really mindset mastery is so
Yes,
important for every aspect of our life.
that's right.
Now, I remember whenever I got into this work, my background is engineering. So I always had goals related to career and some on my life, but I wasn't as focused on it as I am now because I know how important it is with our thoughts. And So whenever I got into Bob Proctor's work, I just thought, okay, well, what is it that I really want? So I relaxed my mind
Mhm.
and I just let things flow on paper. And it was around all the areas of my life that are really important to me, right? So, career, service, what do I really want to do in that area? Family, social, um, income. Everybody has a it seems like everybody likes to talk about money. So all these different aspects of life is what do I really want? How does that look for me? And that vision is so important to hold on to. And I think it changes over time as you get into it. It's like, oh, well, I can go bigger. Oh, now
Yes.
I can go bigger. Oh, wow, I can manifest
Mhm.
anything and create a reality any
Mhm.
way that I choose. That is how
Yes.
powerful we are as
Yes.
divine beings.
Yes. We give form to the consciousness that's moving through us. So
Yes.
we're constantly creating the thoughts that we impress on pure consciousness will end up showing up in our reality. Nah, that doesn't mean every single negative thought you have is going to show up in a manifestation, but it's what we're thinking every day, what we're thinking about, what our mind is really focused on that ends up creating our reality and more of what we're thinking. And it's just like you said, Jen, it kind of snowballs. If you have a lot of worry thoughts or angry thoughts or stressed thoughts, it creates more situations to feel angry, worried, or stressed about, which increases that type of thinking.
Mhm.
So sometimes it's breaking that pattern of thought, boom, and then inserting what do I want? How do I want
Yeah.
it?
And I love your background in yoga because getting to that inner peace state is whenever the thoughts come in, you can get there really quickly, right?
Mm-hmm.
And whenever I started with thinking into results, one of the things I was led to was Reiki and energy healing. So I offer that as a service as well because it's a great service for people, but it's also great for me because learning that mindfulness and learning how to get back to that being, that
Yeah,
inner state, that inner peace state, because that's where you can make big creations from.
huge creations. And I love where yoga comes in with this because when you're practicing yoga postures, it's just moving things out of your
Mhm.
energy system. Like a lot of times we think about the physical benefits of yoga. Yes, you're improving your flexibility, you're getting stronger, you have better balance, improving circulation. But on that energetic level, you can come into the yoga room feeling one way, thinking a certain way, and then leave feeling and thinking like a different person. So,
Mhm.
as you start to do this work, having a practice like yoga or Reiki or meditation, it just up levels everything because you have a means by which to just start moving the energy out of your energy system. Like that old stuck energy can just move right out. And then you're in a much more powerful place to
Yeah,
create.
yeah, and moving the energy, which is all what you do with yoga, your physical movement of the body and mind, and Reiki is all mind work. You just let it flow through your body, flow easily through your body, to and through you. Flow
Yeah.
and ease, you do that with your energy as well
Mhm.
to, unblock that stuck energy, right?
Unblock
So
that stuck energy. And I just, I think the one stumbling block sometimes when people are practicing yoga is the negative self-talk they bring in. Oh, I'm not flexible enough. Oh, I don't look as good as that girl over there. Oh, I'm not as strong as that guy. Oh, I wish I had the nice yoga clothes like that person. Instead of practicing with a mindset of self-love, like, look at me, I'm practicing yoga. I'm doing something great for myself. So I wish I could give that gift to everybody who comes into yoga. We get so many calls of people who are worried about starting because they think they need to lose weight or they need to get more flexible or they need to change their diet first. But I wish I could give everyone the gift of knowing you are perfect exactly as you are right now to do anything
mhm.
you do. You don't have to change first. And oftentimes, starting something new like yoga or Reiki or meditation or mindset work, whatever it is, without any prep work, that's what will help you get the shift that you
Yes,
want and not the other way
absolutely.
around.
Mhm, Mhm. Yeah, you touched upon comparison there. I think
Mhm.
whenever people start to compare themselves against others, that creates an energy. So comparison is never good, right? Just start where you are. What are you thinking? What do you want? And move forward with it.
That's right. And be really aware of it, especially if you're doing a higher level practice, because sometimes my personal belief is our thoughts are more powerful the more tapped into consciousness that we are.
Mhm.
So just be really aware of what it is that you're thinking, because you're more powerful than you know. And when you take on these practices, it amplifies, I think, in a way, your personal power, the way you think. So if you're into the healing arts or you're meditating regularly, like, really be aware of what you're thinking outside of your meditation and outside of your healing sessions, because you're so powerful that it's amplifying the things that you're thinking about. And then if you know what you want and you're in the world of spirituality, you're going to be just a powerhouse. Like,
Oh, yeah. I what's coming up is I remember someone asking me one time, "Why are people so afraid of their power?" Have you ever noticed that? Have you ever seen that? And I
yeah,
got to thinking about it, and you just touched on a point that the more tapped in you are to consciousness because your signal's stronger, right?
yes, that's a
The
good way
more
to.
powerful creator you are. We're already powerful creators. We're already
Yes.
creating everything, right? But
Mhm.
that's why learning these spiritual practices and then bringing it back into the thinking into results where you are directing your mind energy on all the good is
Oh,
so important.
100%. It's crucial. It's
Yeah.
crucial
Mhm.
because if, let's say you're meditating every day and you're thinking, "Oh, life is hard and it's hard to make money," then you just get stuck in poverty consciousness, and then you're stuck and it's really hard to make money because your mind is so powerful from that meditation that it's amplifying the thoughts and feelings that you have about money.
That's right. But the good thing is you can change all that. You
You
can
can
change
change
that
it.
pattern anytime you
Yeah.
choose to.
Yes, you can. It's so easy, and it starts with knowing what you want. It's
Mhm.
that simple. If everyone listening to this podcast just takes that away from it, just from today, get clear on what you want and think about it throughout the day, you're going to have big shifts.
Mhm.
It's
Mhm.
not, it doesn't take a lot of work. It's just about, where are you directing your energy? Where are you directing your mind? Are you focusing on all the things you don't want? Or are you taking it and you're focusing on what you would love?
Well, I think whenever we talk about what do you really want, sometimes people overthink this and never get started on the actual practices of manifestation and how to do it, right?
Yes.
How to do it in a positive way.
Mhm.
And I'm in the middle of a 30-day challenge, and Jenny, I know you are doing a 30-day challenge as well for the people you know.
Mhm.
And that was the one thing with goals is, "Is this the right goal for me?" That's what people
Right.
would say. And I just had it's for 30 days. It's for 30 days. So just choose a goal,
Mhm.
whether don't worry about how big or how small it is at this point, because you're gonna learn the hows of how to do it. And then we can create, again, a larger goal. So just get started is what I was telling people.
Just get started and don't feel bad if you're not totally clear on what you want, because it takes a minute sometimes. We're not really used to thinking about it. And I can say for myself, it probably took me a few months of really sitting with it and thinking about it. Well, what do I want?
Mhm.
On the highest level, what do I really want?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, and
And
that's one of the important things we go through as well, right? As we're moving through each of the steps, which are very simple, which is they're very simple steps to follow with manifestation, but it is coming back to looking at what is my goal, rethinking it, rewriting it, so we can become clearer and clearer and clearer on what
that's
it is, right?
that is it right there. So it's like, and it's always feel good about what you're doing too. Like, I one thing about all of this is, I just don't want anyone to feel bad about themselves. Like, oh, I don't know what I want, so I feel bad about myself.
Mhm.
No, it's just a normal part of the process. And it does take some refinement, just like you said, Jen. It's like, sit down, just dream it up. What would I really like? Write it down. Tomorrow, you might feel differently about it. Ask yourself again tomorrow, what would I just love to see happen in my life? And then the next day and the next day. Give yourself a little time. Be gracious with yourself. Be kind to yourself. Let it be fun and not a stress because this is like this beautiful creation, this beautiful playground called Earth, like it's good to think about the big questions in life. It's good to remove ourselves from our daily routine and just really sit with why am I here? What am I doing? And how would I love my life to be?
Mhm.
There's really nothing more important than that. And it can be fun and it can be a process and it doesn't have to look any certain way. You can do it your way and just be gentle with yourself the whole time, knowing that like this is big work and it's amazing.
Yes, it is, it is, and I love that, the dreamy part of it, right? Like, sit down, vision what you want, and the first time I did this, I heard Bob say, "You'll bring in your goal, and then you realize, 'Oh, I coulda went bigger.'" So I
Hmm.
went really, really big the first time,
Hmm.
and I am just so surprised. I was surprised, I'm not surprised anymore because I know exactly how this works, I've been doing it for so long, but what we can actually manifest is whatever we can think, whatever we can dream of, we can manifest, and it's amazing. I always say it's like magic. That's why I have this little pillow behind me that says, "Believe in magic," because it seems magical, but it's just who we are. It's
It's
just what we're
yeah,
capable of doing.
yes. Human potential is. I just think we're just beginning to understand what our potential is as human beings. We're capable of so much more than we give ourselves credit for.
Mhm. Absolutely.
Hmm.
Well, very good. I think we touched. Is there anything else you'd like to say about what do you really want? Any other things that are coming to your
I just
mind or that
think,
might be helpful?
just have fun with the process.
Mhm.
Let it be fun.
Yeah.
Let it make your day to think
Fun
about.
and joy is a great energy,
Yeah.
so you can stay in that energy.
Mhm.
You're halfway there, right?
Yes, you are halfway there. Mhm.
Alright, well, thanks so much. This was fun, and, let's talk. Maybe we'll come back and do another episode.
That would be great. Thank you, Jen. This is
Alright,
amazing.
thanks. Everyone have a wonderful day and tune back in.